Hey guys, welcome to the Maresa Ng official channel today where we help businesses to grow. So my question for you is this, how many of you have challenges working with your loved ones, siblings, parents, fathers or mothers? And most of the time when we talk to business owners about this, a lot of them find it as a regret. They're like, oh my gosh, don't ever do it. You're like, So how do you get the best of it? And this is what today's video is all about. So guys, what are the challenges about, when you're working with your family members and loved ones, what are the challenges like, Number one, tantrums, people are throwing tantrums at work, they're sulking, they're blowing up, and people get temperamental, people get emotional at work, and sometimes it becomes very hard for the rest of the other people in the company. Number two, treating your workplace like home, unprofessional dressing, wearing your clothing as though you're going out to the shopping mall or you're hanging out at home, you're wearing t-shirts, it's okay if that's a culture for you for some startups, but if everybody else dresses pretty corporate, they dress pretty nice, and then you're kind of like coming in the stuff that you wore last night, or even playing video games, treating your workplace like home, so if you're caught on the sofa playing video games, and you do that at your workplace, what are you encouraging? Number three, professional positions get confused with family positions, so what I mean by this, sometimes the CEO is a younger brother or a younger sister, but simply they have the skills and the abilities to bring the business forward, and that should not be confused in the hierarchy of the family. So that's very, very important for a family business. And number four, and this is a very, very big one, poor understanding of the boundaries between work and home. So a lot of family businesses and family members that I talk to before I start coaching them, most of them are exhausted. They're tired. Why are they tired? Because at work, they do work, they talk work. And when they get home, they still talk about work. So there are no boundaries, and it's almost as though it's a continuation and there's no switch on or switch off. And so literally 24/7 that you're awake, you're talking about work, especially if your business partner happens to be a loved one, a significant other, or a brother and sister. You go home to your family and you have dinner, or you work for your father, you work for your mother, and even throughout dinner they're talking about work. So there's no time that you actually really get to switch off, and this exhaustion does take a toll on the family business and family members too. In working with so many family businesses and companies with loved ones in it, and sometimes they're your business partners too, there are 6 criteria, and I'm going to share it with you, why they can maintain a successful business working together with a great amount of trust, but they're also happy. So that's very important. I'm going to share that 6 with you right now. Number 1, and this is a clear one, having clear rules of the game. Talk with your family members, your loved ones, talk to them. What are the rules of the game? And you got to set it up very clear, stick it on the wall, and have it gospel. You've got to be able to do that. For instance, and you can set any rule. Number 1, no work talk at the dinner table. No work talk at the dinner table means that, no talking about, hey, what happened to that supplier? Hey, what happened to that customer? Yeah, that problem that we had, this is how we solve it. No delegating at the work table. And of course, it takes 2 hands to clap. So one person starts talking about it, call it and go, ouch. No work talk at the table. After 7 o'clock, when you guys go to the club or you go to play badminton, stop talking about work. Go back to your positions as your father's daughter. Go back to being the older brother. Go back to being the younger sister. Go back, resume those positions, and you'll find that you're gonna have a better quality of life together. Number 2, no personal attacks. Oh gosh, and this is a very important one. Sometimes I find that we're in board meetings and the brother says something and the sister says, yeah, you're always like that. You're so forgetful. And since you were 10 years old, everything has always been about you. Oh gosh, so I heard something. That's a personal attack. So it's really, really important to be in a family business where you still know the boundaries of communicating professionally. When you're in a board meeting, you're not talking to your younger brother. You're talking to your operations director. You're talking to your HR manager. You're talking to these people, and how you would address an employee that's not a family member, that would be exactly how you do it even with your younger brother. The minute you bring personal attacks into it, it becomes a whole new level, and then that's when it spirals all the way down. All right, so very important, number 2. Number 3, and I always see this in some family business, no double standards for loved ones. This confuses the daylights out of people who work, employees. They're not family members. It confuses the daylights out of them. Say, how come it is that this rule applies to me but doesn't apply to him, doesn't apply to her, you know? How come they can play with Facebook for like 3 hours straight, and when I play with my Facebook, the CEO breathes down my neck and say, hey, how come you're doing that? But hey, you know, your sister was just doing it earlier, you know? So no double standards. Make sure that your business has consistent policies that everybody can uphold, and it's very, very important when it happens what you do about it. All right, it sends a very clear message to the rest of your company, whether they are family members or not family members. Number 4, a clear CEO position. And sometimes when the CEO or the founder, who is maybe the father or the mother, they get a little bit too old and they want to retire, they pass the business down to a group of siblings, and a bunch of them operate without any clear leadership. So a very, very important part of when you are having a second generation take over, it's important to assign a CEO, elect a CEO. You see, when that happens, there is one centralized decision making. Of course, the decision making must go across all the siblings, all the directors must make a decision, but there is one way forward and someone does make a decision. Because if you find some family businesses, a lot of things just kind of stand still. They're waiting for the brother to make a decision, but the brother is waiting for the sister to make the decision, sister is waiting for the younger sister to come up with stuff. So a CEO position moves the business forward, and this is very important in a family business. And I even say, you know, it's not even just siblings that take over the business. You know, sometimes you have 4 or 5 friends that come together and they want to do business together, but there is no leading position. Now this is important. Why? Because when you have a leadership position, sure, there is one person that is responsible for a lot of the things that move forward. So of course, you can hear information, you can get information from here, you can get information, you can get input, but you still need to be able to move it forward and make decisions so that there's no complacency, there's no confusion, and the strategies do get implemented. Number 5, the 5th criteria for very successful family businesses is, number 5, clear expectations of positions in the role. So if you have family members in a business, they gotta have titles. There's gotta be a title, and the title must be scoped up. So if the younger brother is a marketing manager, what does the marketing manager do? What does the marketing manager have to deliver? What is his performance? Just the same like how you would any employee that comes into your business. But what we find is that the younger brother could be a marketing manager, and then sometimes he does operation stuff, and then the sister is also doing operation stuff, spills into a little bit of marketing and financial stuff as well. So it becomes confusing because a lack of clarity around the position. So that's very, very important. And number 6 criteria of having a successful family business, if I didn't mention it earlier, it is being able to switch on and switch off. This is very, very critical. For a lot of family businesses, please don't work yourself into exhaustion. Don't keep talking about work, because there is a real thing of being tired. And it's a real thing that you need to be able to switch off. And if you live with your brother or your sister or your loved one, your significant other, and you can't switch off, it starts to take a toll on the relationship, the sisterhood, the brotherhood, the family. It starts to take a toll on you because of the business, you know. So know how to be able to switch off. That's more important than switching on. Yeah. So businesses with life partners, with family members, you know, it can be a whole lot of fun, yeah, where you achieve things together. It can be a whole lot of agony as well. And most of the people that I talk to, it's more like agony, you know, they're depressed, they feel they're stuck, you know. And I talk to a lot of family members, they say, oh, you know, I've got no choice, you know, this business was handed down to me, so I have to continue the family heirloom, you know. I take that as a privilege, you know, it's something to be really proud of, but a lot of people are suffering at it. And that's the thing. Why suffer? It's just knowing how to do things differently that will allow you to have a better quality of life. There you have it. A successful business is about having a system. So if you know how to operate your business from systems, from processes, from clarity, from rules of the game, from policies, and everyone does their best to stay consistent, to follow, to respect, when you have that level of alignment in a family business, loved ones, siblings, you will be able to find success because the environment is neutral. You keep the environment neutral, keep the environment systematized, and everybody follows the rules. You'll be able to find happiness and have great results in your business as well. So guys, remember this. It's really about having a great business and a great life, because being in business is about more life. Take care, and I will see you next week. Successful business. Okay, cut. Let me do it again. In work.